Injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident. They will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket. So when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine. Hello. Happy Thursday, my friends. And as always, we are presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. I've been telling you all week, the Advocates are working hard to put a major dent in the hunger issues and the meal issues and the prosperity issues for the kids in our communities. They are partnered with the Murray Children's Pantry to fight childhood hunger. There's their Venmo on the screen. Advocates donations at Venmo. I'm asking you, please. And tomorrow is Giving Friday on this show, and we are going to really be focused on the Advocates. I am asking you, if you have $1, if you have $5, if you have $100, whatever you have, please consider donating to the Advocates on Venmo. Childhood hunger is real in this country, and I know that a lot of us can't understand that. I was DMing, and I probably shouldn't shout him out, but I was DMing with Pete yesterday, who said he does not believe that schools let kids go hungry. I can tell you right now that schools don't have a choice because they don't have budgets. And I think there's this belief that if a kid goes to school hungry, he's going to get fed. It's not like that. Trust me when I tell you. There are kids all across our communities that do not know where their next breakfast, lunch, or dinner is coming from, if that's going to happen. There are kids going days between eating and days between meals. The Advocates are working to end childhood hunger in our communities. Please donate to the Advocates on Venmo and just put, hey, I would love you to shout us out, Monty Show Kids Food, or hey, childhood hunger, children's hunger, kids hunger, whatever you want to do. Please donate to the Advocates on Venmo. It is a very worthwhile proposition. BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff joins us at 7:30 this morning. Spring ball in Provo is over. We will put a finality on the BYU quarterback battle as far as spring goes. As always, that is presented by Big O Tires and American Fork. But I don't think there is any doubt the lead this morning is the very latest on a story that we reported exactly 4 weeks ago on this show about the College Football Super League. And I know a lot of people laughed and shouted us down at that point. Yesterday, The Athletic, Seth Mandel, and Andrew Marchand put out a piece that essentially, chapter and verse, parroted out what we told you a month ago, and that is that the College Football Super League is very real. And there's a lot of questions about what the structure of this league would be. How is this league going to operate? As we told you, Division I, the Power Four conferences, there is no doubt that all of those clubs, including SMU, are going to be included in the College Football Super League. But let's get one thing very clear from the start. This College Football Super League is going to happen. It is not a matter of if, but when. And one of the major questions that was bandied about on Twitter yesterday was, well, ESPN and Fox are avoiding meetings talking about this. Let me take you behind the scenes, because I can tell you point blank yesterday, sources confirmed to us that ESPN, Fox, the Big Ten, and the SEC have all had significant and substantial conversations about the College Football Super League, as it is being called. I believe very firmly that ESPN is well aware of this. They are well down the road in their preparations for what is next in college football. And the issue continues to be, as we have talked about on this show for well over a year, going back to when NIL became a thing a couple of years ago. These lawsuits are what's going to move this process ahead. Because as we said, and as Andrew Marchand and Stuart Mandel at The Athletic said as well, the financial viability of the current system of college football is not viable. It is not sustainable. It is not a long-term financial model, because I am told, and most people in college athletics believe, that these lawsuits are going to go in favor of the athlete. And you'll remember that we talked about the NIL universities being able to pay athletes and the fact that they lost that ruling in court. And we told you on this show, the NCAA was not going to fight or appeal that ruling. And that is a very, very telling action. They have not fought or appealed that ruling. And why is that? Because they know they cannot win. And right now, whether it is the NCAA as a management body or the membership at all of these universities, they are pulling their pennies together, because I think they know that they are going to be on the hook for billions. And the only way that you fix the financial model is you make more money. And that's exactly what the College Football Super League is. And I think we need to be very clear and very unequivocal about one thing. ESPN and Fox, CBS to a lesser extent, NBC to a lesser extent, they are all having conversations. And I will continue to tell you this. It was confirmed again yesterday, as we have confirmed multiple times on this show. ESPN and Fox are in constant and consistent communication with each other, and they are on a regular basis speaking to their partners in college football. The SEC and the Big Ten are in regular communications with Fox, ESPN, CBS, NBC. If you don't believe that Notre Dame is talking to NBC regularly, you are out of your mind. Jake, where do you come down on this? Do you believe that the College Football Super League is an eventuality? Where are you on? Where are you at on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say an inevitability. I think that the college football system, as it is known today, is dead. It's broken. It's not viable. It doesn't work for, the landscape and where the landscape is going. And I think that's really where these conversations come from. Guys who run college football conferences, commissioners, leaders, they're not stupid. They understand why the NFL model is so prolific and why it works so well, and why the NFL continues to dominate viewership in professional sports. It's easy to understand. It is all decided on the field. And there's really no drama with, hey, someone didn't get in because of this or that or whatever. And I think, whether you're looking at the money side or you're looking at, how teams get into the playoffs, if you will, in college football, I think that leaders in college football no longer want to have committees or computers or people deciding who should get in over another. What they want is a streamlined process that works for everybody involved. And it has to work on the P&L sheet. It's got to work in NIL. It's got to work for TV partners, obviously. And I think all those things can be accomplished. And that's why I say, the things we reported a month ago now are pretty much chapter and verse in this article that came out yesterday, which is, hey man, there's going to be separate divisions based on geography. So we're going to cut down travel costs. There is going to be a best of the G5 league that can play up into the top divisions. It really just comes down to what these court filings wind up being, what these rulings wind up being, and then figuring it out with the TV partners. But for anybody who's sitting here today after reading this article saying things like, oh man, this is not going to happen. Nobody wants this. This isn't good. I don't know how anybody, no matter where you're at on college football, comes to that conclusion, because everything that I see says that this makes both the school money, the league money, and the player money, and obviously the TV partners money. And once you do that, you're in a great place, and that's what college football needs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for the NCAA and its membership to continue. I would think in 2 years, as we've talked about, they're going to lose multiple lawsuits, and it is going to be very difficult for them to pay their bills, because we're not talking about pennies on the dollar. We're talking about real dollars here going out the door. And you've got to find a way to supplement that. Now, I think one of the most important parts of this is where ESPN and Fox, the two major stakeholders, CBS, it would be, very close to CBS and Fox and ESPN as far as financially leveraged in these situations. ESPN and then largely Fox and CBS secondarily are going to make this determination about timeline, because one of the things that I think is so important to remember is that every one of these conferences is now locked into a long-term TV deal. And it's very much like the ACC. ESPN is going to determine the fate of the ACC. But what did I tell you a month ago? I'm going to tell you the same thing I said a month ago. I don't believe that we ever get there with the ACC, because I believe that we are going to see a seismic change when it comes to things like this Super League. And you look at where ESPN is. ESPN owns the rights now to the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC, the college football playoff. They have a significant stake in college basketball. And again, I go back to the importance of college basketball, because it is without question now not an option. It is a necessity to drive revenue through the college basketball system. And when we talk about who's the best conference and who's going to make the most money, it's why yesterday when we talked about the Big 12 delaying their Mexico initiative, that's a big deal. That's a revenue stream that the Big 12 has to tap. You have to have a significant presence in money-making endeavors when it comes to college basketball. But make no mistake about it, ESPN has the largest say on how this Super League goes forward. They are in conversations with their partners in all of these leagues, and it is not a matter of if, but when this comes together. ESPN, I think, is well aware that there is a need, and I don't even think well aware is the right way to say it. I was told point blank yesterday, unequivocally, ESPN recognizes that college football cannot continue the way that it is, that the college football playoff, if you go to 100, does not make enough money. What has to happen is private money has to come in. And you want to talk about collectives and donors? They are never going to be more important than they are going to be over the next decade in college athletics. Because no matter how much money TV partners kick in, it is not going to be enough to cover the expenses that are going to be required, A, to settle litigation, and B, to pay athletes as employees, because I think we're going to be in a contractor situation. This is, call it a 1099 if you like, but you're going to be in a position where you are going to have to directly compensate college athletes. You are going to have to directly compensate college football players at a significantly higher level than everybody else. To do that, you are going to need investors. You are going to need, call it private money, whatever you want to call it. You are going to need people that are not affiliated with universities to kick money in, to provide the ability to be a thriving, dominant football program. I think that's really what the next bridge here is. How does private money and how do donors and collectives play in this process?
Yeah, and I think football should be treated differently than any other sport. I mean, it is the king of revenue now, and it will continue to be that as we move forward, to which I say, I have no issue if you want to come up with a model that pays athletes. I think that, college football has gotten to a point, at the P5 level where, it obviously is the feeder system to the NFL. So if it is that and everyone agrees on that, then why are we trying to dance around this idea of paying athletes? Why not just accept the fact that these guys are professional athletes, one, and they're just doing what's required in the classroom to be able to play? I mean, let's not like create some fantasy land situation here. These guys are in school to play football, not go to class. They're football players, then they're going to class so that they can play football. That's what it is for 9 out of 10 guys. And I think that we all get scared about that. We're all like, oh, they're student athletes.
Very much.
They're going to school to get an education. It's like, no, dude. No, they're not. They're going to school to get to the league. Their mission is to get to the league as soon as possible. And most guys wind up talking about the fact that that's their mission because they want to help their family. They want to get their mom a house. They want to do all these things. They want to make a difference in their family. And to that end, I say, great, that's fine. I'm cool with it. Everybody else who's not a football player, can do whatever the hell they want to do. Why would we put these kids in a box? And so that's why I say, yes, let the private money come in. Change the structure. Allow schools to compete for players, because ultimately that's good for everybody. Why do you think the Stephon Diggs trade is such a big deal in the NFL? Because people are competing for the best talent in the NFL. Why would we not have that same dynamic in college football?
And I think if you look at the model that we told you about on, what did we say, March 3rd, I believe it was, or March 6th. If you look at the model we talked about, it is conferences with divisions and the ability for teams to play their way into the postseason, which is exactly what the NFL has, and that's exactly what we laid out. And again, I would say confirmed by The Athletic, because it is exactly what private money and television needs. And I continue, again, one of my guys in the TV industry yesterday said you were spot on, Monty. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
You were spot on when you talked about the college football championship on Saturday and the NFL, the Super Bowl on Sunday. And I think you are going to see that ESPN and its TV partners are going to have a TV model that is going to be very similar to the NFL, because I think there's this belief out there that in TV land, money is just endless, that it is, oh, everybody's got money in TV. They don't have money in TV, because trust me, we're in sales professionally for a living.
Yeah. We
make our money and pay our bills on sales. Now, our good looks, I agree. Our good looks make us a ton of money.
They do.
There's no doubt about that.
And it's unfortunate for you that you don't have those good looks, but it is what it is.
And you don't wear a size 15 shoe, such as like myself.
Stay hard.
I'm just saying that when you're in sales for a living, this is a very challenging ad market. And yes, while it is true that the Chevys and the Fords of the world, and yes, while it is true that your Budweisers and your Modelos, and you have people that spend money, but it is very difficult to get people to spend money in this climate right now. It is very, very difficult. And if you don't think that things like the election, the political cycle, the fact that we're back up to $85 a barrel for oil, if you don't think that that's making a significant impact on the fact that in the ad market, less people are spending less money, and maybe the right way to say it is more people are spending less money, you're crazy. If you don't understand that people like FanDuel and the other gambling entities in this country are struggling to convert consumers, you're out of your mind. It is more difficult now than it has ever been at any time in history for TV companies to make billions of dollars.
Well, and I think that the advantage that college football could have is that they are the second fiddle to the NFL. And I like yesterday, we're watching the Padre game. And what do you notice about Petco Park? Callaway Golf is all over Petco Park right now. And it's like, it's that type of thought process when I look at college football, and I'm like, hey man, like, you're a huge thing in our country. Like, yeah, the Chevys and the Fords and, whatever private money entity you want to look at, all these different companies want to be involved. They're saying, hey, with our less money that less people are spending, we want to take that less money and we want to pour it into your sport. But to do that, you have to have the proper structure in place. And that's what this is about ultimately. So
100%.
So it's not about whether or not the TV partners want to do this. The TV partners have been trying to do this for however the hell long now. We just haven't had enough people come around the idea and say, yeah, you know what? It is possible. And we need to come up with a structure that works for everybody, including the athlete. And now it's just simply being held up by, these court cases involving the NCAA. And once that's taken care of, then you can get to it. Because again, and this is what we talk about with the ACC grant of rights, ESPN's in control. ESPN's in a position where they have a strong grip on this sport and conferences. So if you can get with ESPN and you can say, hey, understand that we're under agreement right now, but this is what we're all trying to do. Is that something that you could see getting involved in? Yeah. Obviously, yes, it is something we could see ESPN getting involved in. So that's why I say, while the article talks about contracts and, the FBS schools, all these schools are under contract, the reality is when you sign a contract with someone, if both parties agree to change that contract and get into something that's mutually beneficial for everybody, that's going to happen. So don't get confused about the current landscape and that holding anything back, because I don't believe it does. I just think you got to get to the table.
And I think when we talk about the biggest hurdles, these lawsuits are a massive hurdle. The NIL litigation that we've been talking about on this show for a year now, that's a massive hurdle. I think you're also looking at a situation where you're going to have to find a way to unify the lower tiers of college football. Because as I continue to tell you, this Super League doesn't mean that the Big Ten goes away. The Super League doesn't mean that any conference goes away. Those conferences are going to stay intact. You are going to have a situation where college football fundamentally changes the way that they make money and determine their champion. But as far as these other sports go, you're going to have to find a way to generate more revenue through them to compensate the universities for the money that they're going to have to put out for these lawsuits in NIL. I think that is the biggest hurdle, is making more money. I think the other hurdle that stands in the way here, you're going to have to find a way to bring in and make it feels almost dirty or incestuous. How do we get private money that's not affiliated with these universities or these programs? How do you marry college football and private money in a way that doesn't feel dirty or under the table, or, that you're paying juice? Or how do you pay back that private money? How do you make them whole and profitable? And it's something that I think the NCAA and its membership are very reticent to do. It's something that I think it is the great unknown. It is the abyss of college athletics. How do you go from this, well, we're here to get Jimmy through college so he can be a great dentist?
The American dream.
Right? Like, how do you get from that perspective that they're here and their compensation is a scholarship? How do we get from that to this is a for-profit, no longer nonprofit? This is a for-profit enterprise where we have outside investors that are powering this sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get there through getting more people to accept the fact that that's going to happen one way or the other, and I think that the biggest issue is that the Charlie Bakers of the world and everyone that's on his side of this conversation, are in kind of a conundrum here, because on one hand, it's like, yeah, that dynamic that you just described is obviously what college athletics has been for as long as we've known them, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what we know it to be. But on the other hand, this 1,000-pound gorilla is going to come and change sports, in collegiate sports. It's going to walk in the room and say, hey, dude, we've got billions of dollars sitting here. You guys are getting piped in court. We might want to find a way to take that money. So it's incumbent on the NCAA to say, okay, yes, we don't love this. We don't love the fact that the concept of the student athlete is inevitably going to go away just under football. Because again, we're not talking about other sports here, right? This is a football conversation. So for football players, especially at the Power 4 level, yeah, we need to bring all that money in and we need to change the system. And to that end, I would say little school that no one's ever heard of, this also matters to them, because if you can play up and you get 1 year out of every 20 and you popped off for 6 or 7 million because you won a couple games, that's going to be a big deal for the system in its entirety.
But I also think you are going to turn off a significant number of universities who just don't give a rip about making money in athletics. And this is why there was such a divide at Michigan over Jim Harbaugh, because the academics at Michigan wanted nothing to do with it making Jim Harbaugh the highest paid coach in the history of college football. And there is that divide in universities like Michigan, where academia doesn't want to be seen as a cheater, where academia doesn't want to be seen going to court to defend. And we this is not new. We told you about this during the football season.
Yeah.
There was a large swath of the personnel at Michigan who out and out protested going to court to defend Jim Harbaugh. Washington State, where they essentially had faculty and staff threatening a sit-in at Kirk Schultz's office because they did not want to continue to dump bad money into their athletic department that was no longer going to play a prominent role in a conference that was dying. And lo and behold, what happened? the conference died, and Washington State's in a terrible equity position.
But if you look at both of those situations, the common factor is there wasn't enough money. Academia, folks who are in academia world don't give a damn what you're doing if you're making, let's call it $100 a month, and what you want to do only costs you $1.
Look at Arizona.
Look at Arizona. Exactly.
Arizona was using their daily money. Pay the light bill, buy new pencils, pay the gardener. Their daily money was being used to fund the athletic department because they had so little support from their fan base. And they were not selling tickets, and they were not selling corn dogs. I don't know if Oak State James is here, but sorry, I know that hurts your heart. They were not selling concessions. So they were struggling to be financially viable in athletics, so they were using their daily money. They had an accounting error that cost them $240 million because they were funding their athletics out of their own pocket. Those days are over now because $240 million is going to look like couch cushion money when these NIL lawsuits come down. Because the other thing that nobody wants to talk about, it isn't this dastardly NCAA. Who's the NCAA?
Yeah.
All of these universities.
Yeah, and you've been saying this for a long time.
The NCAA is not some, entity that just is screwing these universities. Who made the NIL policy that now has them on the cusp of losing billions of dollars? Every one of these universities approved not allowing NIL, approved not allowing people and athletes to make money. They approved the way that they have done business for the last 100 years. And when I say they, all these universities, that's who the NCAA is. It's made up of universities that compete on the athletic fields in college athletics. That's what the NCAA is. So we can sit here and we can try and victimize, these universities and say, oh man, they're in such a bad spot. They're the ones who approved this. They're the ones who said no to NIL. It's the old hairs that didn't, that are holding on to their money, who didn't want to pay these damn kids that are getting a free education. They're the ones that are responsible for this.
Yes.
Stop blaming the kid. Stop blaming the Ed O'Bannons who wanted to get paid because he appeared in a video game. Stop blaming the Jeremy Blooms who wanted to ski in the Olympics and couldn't. And stop blaming the kid. Start blaming the old men who didn't want to give up. They didn't want to give up a penny of their money.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to you, a couple of things I want to clarify here. Where do ESPN and Fox stand on the College Football Super League? This is a really important point because I think The Athletic got this completely wrong in their article. And I'm not going to tell you who we're talking to, but we are talking to very well-placed sources in the TV industry networks. We are talking to people who have direct knowledge of these situations. And I want to make this clear. ESPN and Fox, CBS and NBC, we are told point blank by multiple sources, do not oppose a college football super league. They do not want to get themselves in a position, the TV networks, ESPN, Fox, CBS, and NBC, don't want to put themselves in a position to be paying the bill for these NIL lawsuits and all this litigation that's coming down the line here pretty quickly, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
That's why there's hesitation from the TV networks to jump in bed with the NCAA and really these universities and conferences and just run away with a college football super league because they don't want to be in a position where they're being leveraged to pay for these lawsuits. I will again reiterate, we have been told point blank that Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti, Brett Yormark for that matter, they've been having conversations with their TV partners on the regular. There is an open line of communication between Fox and ESPN and NBC and CBS. They have regularly scheduled calendar sessions where they talk about the industry, where they talk about the issues. I was told directly yesterday that ESPN and Fox have had direct conversations about this issue, that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti have spoken directly to Fox and ESPN about the future of the Super League and the future of college football and the urgency that is needed to move this process forward. So I believe from what I am told, and I think we have a pretty stellar track record on this show of reporting things. What I am told is there is no hesitation from the television networks to create a super league because their money is going to be made whole. As Jake pointed out earlier, it's a contract.
Yeah.
You have two parties to contracts. Both parties here are incentivized to move forward, because if they don't move forward, the NCAA is going to be insolvent. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if the NCAA is insolvent and there's no money being made in college football, the current model dies and those contracts die with it.
Yep.
So it's simply a matter of when, not if, these deals get made. And the idea that a super league is, somehow in peril could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
I think the other big question here, what is the timeline? I think the timeline is unknown. I think there has been an artificially created timeline of 2026, because you have these next 2 years, 24 and 25, and then the new TV contract for the college football playoff kicks off. That's certainly one factor, but I think the other factor is that these universities, these athletic directors, and these conference commissioners, they're looking down the track, and it's not an empty train track anymore. They can see the locomotive coming at them. They know that they need more money. They know that they need to change the system.
You got to get back into a place where you're making enough money that it takes the stress off, right? And
Yes.
again, it's not a thing where it's like, hey, there's a certain number that, everyone's got to make for it to be a perfect, well-oiled machine. But the concept and the premise is, hey, we know it's a well-accepted fact that there is tons of money available to college football that they don't have access to currently because of the current system they operate in. So they're sitting here saying, okay, like ESPN sitting here saying, okay, why would we put in danger our business model when it comes to college football when we can figure out how to make this work? It's almost like, hey, like we just got to figure out a way to turn the freaking faucet on to feed this thing. If you think of college football as a plant, they just got to water it more. And that water is the money from private people and businesses and companies that want to be involved, that want to grow their company through college football. It's not a difficult premise. I just think that, like you said, the old folks in college football need to get the hell out of the way and let the Greg Sankeys of the world do this.
And if you look at the new blood in leadership in college football, Tony Petitti, Brett Yormark, Greg Sankey's not new. Phillips at the ACC isn't new. But you look at the voices that are so prominent in the room now. You have TV savvy people that have an entertainment background, and they understand that they are a sales organization that happens to play football. They are not a football organization that needs to sell its product. They're a sales organization that happens to play football.
And when you have that mindset, money follows it.
And I think that's why Brett Yormark, Tony Petitti, Greg Sankey's always been ahead of the curve. There's no question about that. Greg's always been forward thinking. I think he's an elite commissioner for that exact reason. And I think that the ACC's in a different situation because they have litigation of their own that they're trying to handle. And I think that you're seeing there's a lack of resolution on that. And we'll see. I mean, this FSU situation, to a lesser extent, Clemson, I think this situation with NIL and these lawsuits, and I think really the stability of the conference model in football anyway, I think greatly impacts the ability of FSU and Clemson to operate and to win court cases. I think it's going to be very difficult. All right. As always, the Monty Show presented by our good friends at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty. Boy, I was close. Man, I was close last night. Devin Booker absolutely came through. Anthony Davis. He sucks. He's always hurt. He's terrible. Well, it turns out dude makes money for people on Prize
After
Picks.
the street clothes Davis.
Both of them had big nights last night. Anthony Davis essentially won me Prize Picks, cashed my Prize Picks before 7 o'clock last night. It was beautiful. Cody Bellinger let me down. As soon as it's the best way I can say it. If Cody Bellinger isn't an overpriced shitbag who I beg the Cubs to re-sign, I love my guy, Cody. He did let me down. I won 2 of 3 last night. Thankfully, I had Devin Booker on a demon.
Demon.
So I was able to win $56.25 last night on a $25 bet. Thank you, sir. How did you do?
Awful. Terrible.
Oh, did you lose?
Not even close. Yeah, awful. I had baseball last night, and that was not a good idea.
I love baseball and Prize Picks, dude.
I had Bellinger. He didn't come through.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts didn't come through. Tyler Glasnow didn't come through. So whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Today's a new day, Jake.
Yeah.
Today is a new day.
Yeah.
Prize Picks. Download the app. Use a promo code Monty. It's so easy to use, you guys. The reason I love Prize Picks, they ask you one question, more or less. I think the number on book last night was 46.5. I said more. Came through with more. 8 assists. I mean, has anybody been diming out like the sex machine, Devin Booker? The guy is just an absolute stud right now. Anthony Davis balling out. Cody Bellinger, 2.5 total bases, hits and RBIs. 0 for 5. He's hitting 200. Okay, that's fine. So I'll just be over here.
Yeah, just be over here.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's good. All right, let's get your comments. Who are the first ones in this morning? Hello, Aaron Wilson. Give some Monty Show membership.
Go, baby.
You guys, don't forget, tomorrow is Giving Friday on the show. We will give out $150 in Amazon gift cards tomorrow right here. Well, you're going to have to perform, So get the poll up in the living room. You're going to have to perform. Please don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to
that,
see that.
But
tomorrow is Giving Friday. On the show, RJC loaner phone, please forward to the Advocates for the Food Bank. Let's go. You guys, the Advocates are raising money for the Murray Children's Food Bank. You guys, help the Advocates, please. I am begging you. Get on Venmo. If you don't have a Venmo account, it's super easy to set up. Venmo the Advocates donations. And if you could please shout out the Monty Show when you do that, we would really appreciate that. They are raising money and working with the Murray Children's Pantry to end childhood hunger in our communities. It's why I love the Advocates. Yes, they are great injury attorneys. Motorcycle accidents, trips and falls, slips, workman's comp issues. Did you get hurt at work? Absolutely. No matter what. Anytime you get hurt at work, you need to find an independent voice who knows how to navigate the shark-infested waters of workman's comp. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, where you can always chat with an attorney live online 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. Thank you, Loaner Phone. We appreciate the $10 donation. All right, let's see. Where are we at? Boy, am I hesitant to go back to the top today. These shows are always very interesting. Who was first in? All the way back to hey, look at that. Mountain Mama. First one in. Will we have Morning Mayhem again? Hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Yes. We are rapidly approaching 100,000 subscribers on the channel. We are at 84,627.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. You guys, we're just 15,000. What is that? 15,373 away from 100,000 subscribers on the Monty Show.
Bro, we could hit that. We could hit that next month, man.
Appreciate you. OG Gary, Super League is what we need.
Yeah.
But why 70, 64 has to be the move? You need inclusivity, because if the more people you include, the greater your ability to pool resources and revenue. And the greater your ability to do, because I think what you're going to see is the Scripps Sports model of Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey on top of ESPN. I think you're going to see multiple streams of revenue, which is one of the conversations that I'm told is being had. Are you open to, and let's use Oregon as an example. Hey, are you open to Oregon having a regional TV deal and then guaranteeing ESPN that they're going to have Oregon's biggest games, Oregon football's biggest games, and regional TV deals like the old Raycom deals?
Right.
You remember Raycom in the Southeast, or Tim Brando calling ACC basketball on Raycom, right? Those kind of deals, I think, are going to come back. And I think you're going to have that. 64 is not enough. It is. I think you're 70, 80 teams. And I don't know. One of the other things that I think people are struggling with is this relegation model. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a firm grasp on how accepting the G5s are of a relegation model.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to even see relegation per se in this model. I think what you're going to have is 70, 80 teams that are in this league that are going to be in the league every single year, no matter what. They're members of the league, and they are core members of the structure that you have to have. But what you're going to have take place is out of the, let's call it 10 divisions that they would come up with for these 70 or 80 teams to play in, right? You're obviously going to have a playoff format that is decided within those divisions. And then the G5 is going to have the ability to step up into that playoff model.
100%.
So I don't think we're going to have relegation where, some 2-10 team goes down to the G5.
Alabama's never going to, the Blue Bloods. I don't think the current P4 is ever going to be exposed to relegation.
No.
I think Andrew Marchand and the guys at The Athletic, Stuart Mandel, spelled this out pretty clearly. You're never going to expose these teams to relegation. Relegation, promotion, that model, is that the right way to say it? That idea, that concept is very damaging to you financially. So I think you're going to see, that's how you're going to keep the AAC involved. That's how you're going to keep the lesser conferences, the G5, if you will. That's how you're going to keep the G5 involved. And I think that is the unfortunate reality of where college athletics is going financially.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that you have another model. I have not one time heard from any of our sources that relegation is a likely scenario. I have not heard that. And the biggest question is, for me, how do you spin this to Boise State? How do you spin this to Washington State and Oregon State?
Well, I think you spin it to, the only question for Washington State and Oregon State is, are they involved in the league itself, or would they be considered, G5 Mountain West participants? I don't know. That's a different conversation, right? But I think, the Boise States of the world, the spin is, hey, we're creating this model in football only, where you're going to be able to step up into college football playoff eligibility, I guess, if you will. Like whatever the terminology is going to be, you're going to be able to play your way in to a playoff game at the Power 4 level.
Well, and I also think this is the ACC lawsuit. You read the documents in that ACC lawsuit, and how many times are three letters S, M, and U put together as a bad thing by Florida State and Clemson? Pretty often. And I agree with this. I think that giving SMU the opportunity to kick in money to buy their way to a P4 was a huge mistake. Because why are you not giving that to every G5 university? That's the question that has to be asked. And I would agree that 99% of G5 universities would never do what SMU did and have no desire to buy their way into the top tier of college athletics.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why they're G5s. When you build like San Diego State, I don't think San Diego State has the wherewithal to compete at the highest levels of college football. I believe they would love to be a college basketball powerhouse. I don't think that your WCC universities, does St. Mary's want to pay to compete? They don't. Does Gonzaga have any desire to add a football team? They don't.
No.
Does UConn have any business playing football? They don't. They don't. And I think that's the larger question, is who really wants this? Because I don't think there's any doubt Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Bama, Clemson, Florida State.
All the names you know and
all
love.
the Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
They want it. Does Duke want to compete in the highest levels of college football? I think they do. I think Carolina does because they want the money. They want the money. But if you look at Duke, friends of mine call it the Ivy League on Tobacco Road. Do you think the real Ivy League wants anything to do with this? They don't.
No.
The Yales, the Princetons want nothing to do with this. They're happy in their own world because, again, I think academia is a real problem here because this flies in the face of academia. So it's just something to think about. Chad Carter, good morning. Caps Lock Friday cometh. Also, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Mike Smith, Mountain Mama, article they will refer to by Marchand and Mandel basically admits the proposal did not go over well and is dead on arrival. No. Let's make one thing very clear. There is nothing about the College Football Super League that's dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Nothing. When you are in a litigation situation as the NCAA is with its athletes and previous athletes, you are not going to tip your hand in any way, shape, or form. There is, with all due respect, Mike, there is nothing that is dead on arrival about the Super League. Are there significant details to be worked out? Of course there are.
Yeah, what Mike is referring to is in the article, it basically lays out that the biggest hurdle is the TV partners. And it says that, hey, a lot of the leagues weren't just jumping all over this because they were concerned about damaging the relationship, with their TV partners. And the reality of the situation is that dynamic is always at play with anything. That's not unique to the Super League conversation. Schools and universities and people generally don't want to do anything to risk that relationship because obviously if you damage the relationship, you're damaging the revenue that you receive from the relationship. That goes without saying. So the idea that in the article they're like, hey, well, people are hesitant about this because they don't want to damage a TV relationship tells you everything you need to know, which is, hey, yeah, obviously they don't want to damage a TV relationship, but obviously TV partners are very interested in this. So you just have to smooth out the communication. It's not that leagues and, schools don't want the Super League concept to come to fruition in and of itself. They just want to be able to pay their bills through the transition process.
Correct.
So the article does not, in fact, say that it was dead on arrival. The article basically stipulates that, hey, dude, they just want to make sure they do it the right way and they don't damage the money coming in.
And again, I would tell you what I've been telling you, and not to be redundant because I said it earlier. Do you really believe that Greg Sankey hasn't spoken to ESPN? Do you really think that's what's happening here? Do you really believe that Tony Petitti hasn't spoken to Fox, CBS, and NBC? Do you really think Brett Yormark isn't having regular conversations with his peers about this? Because I'm also told the major conference commissioners have regular calls with themselves and with their TV partners, and that their TV partners have regular calls, and they're all talking about this.
Yeah.
Because it's not a matter of, well, this is something new. You guys, I've been telling you this. And I know I'm just little old Monty here, the dying fat Mormon, right? I'm not Mormon, and I'm not fat. Well, I have cellulite. I wouldn't fat.
You're big bone, dude. Come on.
Listen, who really is at an ideal weight? Well, I'm not, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm a little portly.
Do you even lift?
I like to refer to myself as thick.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, do you really think that we've been telling you this really back to September, October? I'm telling you, the game has changed. The NFL model is coming to college football. You don't have to like it, but you better learn to love it because it's going to happen. And you don't have to like that 70, 80 teams are going to have a seat at the table, but you better learn to love it because it's going to happen. And you are not dealing with a bunch of billionaires who have generational money. They're not billionaires with generational money because they're stupid. They see what's coming. Man, as I said before, the analogy that was given to me that I'm giving to you, they're standing on the track. And it's no longer that they see the track endless and there's no train coming. The locomotive is coming and it's already around the bend. They're losing court cases. that are already taking money out of their pocket. They are not going to sit and stand by and watch that happen. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. Rick Forster, hello. Adam Monks, hello. Force Ghost Fabio. Watch Monty and Jake start the show bragging about prize picks.
Well,
I don't know that we'd be bragging about prize picks.
Just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
I've been on a run, though, of late. Eric and Raleigh, hello. The SEC in Big 32. I tried to tell y'all. We'll see. We shall see. Dakota Tubbs, hello. Noel Ramirez, hello. The Buffalo Hunter, hello. I should probably stop that. Monty, please swear more. Fuck off. You asked. I answered. Why does Jake always look like he is constipated?
Couldn't tell you.
Did you take a poop today?
Not yet.
Jake's always a post-game guy.
Yeah, I'm a post-game guy.
He's a post-game. Today, I was a pre-game guy.
Yeah, I'm a post-game guy.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Steve Stepanek, hello. Mike Smith, maybe J2H does his dookie after the show.
Yeah, post-game guy, dude. Yeah, got to tell you how much we told you so, and then I go and, drop kids off at the pool.
Monty won't let him have a bathroom break during the show. You have to have the show named after you for that privilege.
That's right. That's right, dude. That's right.
Rick Forrester, are we really talking about Jake's colon right now? Jake needs to take milk of magnesia. Okay.
Okay.
The Big 12, according to Steve Stepanek, is included in this. I have heard they are. I think the Big 12 is in a very, I don't know, precarious is aggressive. They're in a very interesting position because they are the preeminent basketball brand in this country right now. They are. It was funny. Everybody watches this show. Let's just be honest about it.
Right. Even if you say you don't watch the show, you do watch the show.
I was talking to a guy yesterday who said, we were talking about this, and he's like, wait. We've got to talk about how stupid ACC fans are. That's exactly how he said it. Wait, we got to talk about how stupid ACC fans are. And I'm telling you that Brett Yormark's ability to drive revenue through Kansas City, and one of the things that was brought up to me was the NFL Big 12 Pro Day was a smashing success. People loved it. And the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City was a smashing success. People loved it. And I think that Brett Yormark has revived the Big 12. To what extent? I don't know. Are they still on life support? Are they unable to breathe on their own? It's not that bad.
Right.
But the question is, will the Big 12 get back to a place where they are thriving in football? This Baron Morton news yesterday does not give me hope for Texas Tech. Baron Morton's going to miss the rest of spring practice. Precautions.
Right.
With his shoulder issue. If Baron Morton is any kind of question mark, they're fucked in Lubbock. You're in real trouble.
Yeah.
You're in real trouble. Yeah.
You need your quarterback.
Let's see. Did Jake bleach his second hole yet?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Why are we talking about my butthole?
Mike Smith, Jake's starfish is still chocolate.
Yeah,
What the
Cue Janus.
what the hell are you guys talking about in the comment section today?
It never fails to amaze me. Dakota Tubbs, if the Super League brings back my school's historical rivalries with equal access to the playoff, then I'm all for it. Well, I've heard that Missouri's out. I'm kidding.
It's garbage.
What happens to all the G5 teams? Yet to be determined. Christopher Shannon, hello. The men's basketball tournament success is showing that having 68 team tournaments can still make massive money. Big brands themselves are nice, but the NCAA tournament shows it's not the end-all be-all. It is not the end-all be-all. What is the end-all be-all is everything. And I don't mean to keep telling you what I told you, but I told you this already, motherfucker. The NCAA tournament is not where you make money in college basketball. Oh, but Monty, what about those TV units in the game, the decades of money? I don't disagree with that. Those units are very important. You make your money in the regular season. You make your money doing clinics and events at
and
Rucker
aircraft
Park.
Carrier games.
You make your money on made-for-TV games. You make your money by doing all of this other stuff and then going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You got to win games. Gonzaga's not Gonzaga because they don't win games.
Right.
You have to be relevant, but your money is made in Kansas City. Your money is made in partnerships. And, funny, one example that was put to me yesterday, how long until we see a Nike swoosh on the field at Oregon? Like in its glory at midfield. Not as part of the Oregon logo, but a Nike logo on the field. I don't know, like in basketball where they superimpose sponsor logos on the floor. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, how long until it's just Chick-fil-A logos on the field and there's no need for a Peach Bowl logo? How long until we see uniform patches? How long before we see it's coming?
Yeah.
You don't have to like it, but you better learn to love it.
Yeah.
Because it's coming.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that makes sense.
Business, man.
I'm telling you, you are going to see a very different way of doing business. A very, very different way of doing business. Let's see. Let's roll a little bit. We have James, Okie Light. Hello. What happened there? Hit the like button, casuals. Happy Thursday. Yes. We are at almost 1,000 views and we're only at 48 likes.
Man.
Let's go. You guys, we got to hit the like button. Do I have to bribe you? Do I have to bribe you? There are how many people are watching the show live? We have about 500 people watching the show live right now. Hit the like button. If we get to 100 likes, do I have to pull out the timer?
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'll whip it out. I will whip it out.
That's right.
Okay, 60 seconds on the clock. If we get to 100 likes, 49 more likes. There's live on YouTube right now. There's 153. Facebook and Twitter, if you are watching this, come over to YouTube, hit the like button. If we get to 100 likes in 45 seconds from right now, I'll give away $100 Amazon. And Giggity, you're not wrong. Look at what Giggity said as you guys don't hit the like button. It's amazing.
Hello. Oh, boy.
Oh,
dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, my. There it is.
Hey.
So we can let you down yet again.
Yes, that's.
Our comment section today is not good. Just hit the like button. But I just got on. Come on, guys. Exactly. Justin says, bribe me. Gary Wolf says, whip it, Monty. Whip it good. Aaron Wilson, like. Dakota Tubbs, hit the like button, you hyenas. We didn't even get close.
I mean, you guys added 20 or so, but that's just, you can put the timer away, dude.
The timer away.
I mean, it's, and I love it too, to this end. We always get comments later in the day. They're like, you guys don't appreciate people in the comments section. You guys are a bunch of assholes. It's like, well, if you hit the like button, and by the way, hit it. Disappointed. It's not a difficult concept.
Do you know how often we give away? Every week we give away multiple Amazon gift cards on this show. It's never enough. It's never enough. Nobody's ever happy. Gary Wolf, come on, macaques, smash that like button.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Boyd Lake, good morning. Hello.
Macaque.
Getting internet lockups. Boyd, your guy Jake Retzloff coming up here in 30 minutes from right now. 30 minutes. Cam Harrison, I just hit the like button. Shout out to Mo Bamba. Cam, DM Jake. I'll give you a $25 Amazon gift card.
Okay.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Cam Harrison's a longtime listener of this show. He has been here
Shout out
since
to Mo Bamba.
almost the beginning. And he's always been a big shout out to Mo Bamba guy.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
So Cam, DM Jake, SLC Jake on Insta Snapface. On Instagram, DM him. We'll hook you up with a $25 Amazon gift card. RJC Loaner Phone, I hit the like button. It's not hard.
Do they give you loaner likes?
It's not hard.
Stay hard.
I'm sorry to hear that. OG Gary, both of you keep breaking up. Intermittent connection.
Well, as an Arizona fan, I understand it's hard for you to afford good internet, so I get it.
Monty is not an asshole. I is always happy. Well, I appreciate that, Big Daddy Magic.
Quote, I am is always happy.
San Diego State Glenn, not a member, so I can win. To like or not to like? How do I count the ways?
Okay.
Lil Jizzy, I just want Monty. I just want to be Monty's bidet.
Dude, y'all are weird
What?
today, man. Like, I don't know.
What? The awkward guy. Does SLC Jake stand for St. Louis City Jake? Yes. How did you know?
Yeah, man. Wow.
How did you know?
Dude.
How did you know?
Wow.
How did you know? How did you know? John Hamm, Monty, it's okay to be fat. As I tell my wife, or excuse me, as I tell the wife, there is room for one fat person in the marriage, so I took that bullet so she doesn't have to be.
Yeah, the burden you're carrying for your marriage, man.
And I listen, I'm thrilled with where I'm at. I'm not at all. I'm losing weight. I am getting thinner. I just bought new clothes the other day for golf season. Wife, I'm never going to be in the I'm a mile in the ocean.
Yeah, ooh, swimming with the fishes.
Come on now. I don't know why we're delaying here on our comments. 3 words on the Super League. Show me the money. It's that simple. If the money works, it will happen. I agree. I 100% agree with that. Eric and Raleigh, 72 teams, SEC and Big 36. We'll see. We shall see. I don't know. Ron Loney says it's dead because I will turn off my TV. And if that's how you feel about it.
But why, Ron, why do you feel that way? This is what I'm fascinated about with some college football fans. Why is this such a turnoff to you? Like, what really
what is
changing?
It that's a turnoff about it?
Yeah, like why do you have so much vitriol towards it?
I'm curious about that. Ferris Khan.
Okay, now Ferris.
Don't be a jackwagon.
Yesterday you did well. Don't be an idiot today.
Yeah, stay on pace.
Stay hard.
Stay on pace. I don't think Michigan wants this. They care more. They care about more than money. But listen, and Ferris, I'm here for this conversation. You straight up, you came after us when I told you what has now been pretty much borne out. The academics and the leadership were not in support of making Jim Harbaugh the highest paid head coach in the history of college football. 99% of the faculty and leadership at Michigan wanted nothing to do with paying lawyers to go to court to defend Jim Harbaugh. And now you're telling me they care about more than money.
Fine Steeler guy.
When you told me I was completely wrong about that. The issue at Michigan is that you have elite academics, like top of the mountain academics.
Yep.
One of the best law schools in the country. Some of the best academic minds in the country. Alumni at the highest points of just about every genre of business in this country. And you have, in my opinion, and I don't know if it's been fixed, but I can tell you I was told directly in December there was a significant gap between academia and athletics at Michigan. And this is also, I go back, we told you Juwan Howard was out at Michigan.
Yeah, we did.
And why was Juwan Howard out at Michigan? Because he embarrassed that university. And I just continue to tell you, your athletic director
needs to be fired.
Is not on stable ground. And a lot of it is the academics and the leadership on faculty do not support the way that the football program operated under Jim Harbaugh. And I think Sharon Moore is in an almost impossible position there because I don't know that anything that he does is going to be good enough. I truly do not. And I think you are going to have a power grab. And again, maybe I'm using strong adjectives. Okay. You are going to have a situation where the academia, the faculty, and the leadership of that faculty and staff is not going to continue to write blank checks and is not going to continue to be embarrassed by your athletic department.
100%.
And I think that is going to be played out in a very ugly and public struggle. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes. Because I think if the NCAA in fact does come down and drop the hammer on Michigan, which we have been told regularly is going to happen, I think academia there is not going to fight it, and they are not going to allow Michigan to fight it. And I think there are some people at Michigan who would like nothing more than to cut the balls off of the athletic director and make football far less important on that campus. I think there are a lot of people in Ann Arbor who would love to see that. Would love to see that. So we shall see. Gary says that our audio keeps coming out. All right, everybody in the comments, how's our audio? Gary Wolf, Oregon State Wazoo. Give me that Super League, bro. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's what I said. There's opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. RJC Loaner phone. Change is always tough for folks. What's happening to college football is a complete 180. It's going to take some time for some folks. It is. It very much. I don't think there's much resistance to a Super League. I think it is how and how much money. How are you going to do this and how much money are people going to make on it? Because there is this belief. And I don't want to over dramatize this, but there is this belief that no matter what, ESPN is going to make money. And that's just not the case. It is becoming more and more difficult for ESPN to make these billion-dollar deals profitable because it's a lot of money, man. And you are going back to the same partners that you've had on the SEC. And they're a little more reticent, hesitant, not so willing to keep scratching that check for billions of dollars. And it's the same in the Big 12. It's the same in the ACC. ESPN's pockets are not endless, are not bottomless. Now, Disney just bought Vail Resorts. I don't know how many people saw that. The Disney company bought Vail Resorts, the largest ski and snowboard resort operator in the world, is now under the Disney Destination umbrella. So everybody that is pronouncing Ron DeSantis murked Disney, yeah, you might want to back off that a little bit. Disney's doing just fine. ESPN's doing just fine. But the other thing I think you need to recognize is ESPN is going to have considerable say on what those little letters all combined for a contract say. Their direct-to-consumer model that's going to launch next fall is going to be a significant part of whatever the college football structure is going forward. And again, you don't have to like it, but you better learn to love it because that is what is going to happen. That is what is going to happen, whether you want it to or not. Steve Stepanek, Michigan is out of hot water, isn't out of hot water yet. It's just how far the corruption goes up. Well, and there are several pending investigations regarding Michigan. And this is one of the frustrations with the academia at most universities is how slow the NCAA operates in penalties.
Yeah.
And I think that could change. And I do think before kickoff of next season, I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have a very difficult time ever getting another job in college football.
And I don't know that he wants another job in college football.
Oh, you always want it. You always want to have. Jim Harbaugh is always looking at how green the grass is on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
He's always looking. Jim Harbaugh rarely waters his own grass. He's always looking at the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
That's how that guy operates. Aaron Wilson, audio sounds good here, brothers. Okay. Brother, it's been stable as of the last 5 minutes. Audio and connections were cutting out earlier. Awesome. Sorry to hear that. It keeps freezing intermittently for me. We have no control of that. I apologize. Let's see. Eric Wasikowski. I would say Super League with relegation. Big 10 MAC SEC Sun. I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. Negative Mike, revenue details. There are no, what revenue details? I wouldn't say there's revenue. CME on the big screen. See me on the big screen.
Okay.
Sound is okay.
Who the f- is that guy?
But I heard it cut out a little bit. Audio is acting like Florida State today. Steve Stepanek, let's close the door on the old NCAA and step forward into the future and stop screwing over college football players. Has to happen.
Yeah.
Has to happen. You got to pay players. You got to pay players. Mike Smith, Mickey skis. He does now. Glenn says, and Jake, I'm a 4-bar 5G strong.
Okay.
Big Daddy Magic. Hey, playa. Hey, playa.
Victor's the way.
Disney is super hot right now. They have the greatest franchise in the world, Star Wand, F.U. Lord of the Rings, worth franchise in the world. Okay.
Man, wow. Thank you.
They don't have Victor, though. Gary Wolf, Jim won't go anywhere without Connor. Truth.
Fine Steeler guy.
I'm here for the Big Ten MAC conference. Well, you are a Marshall fan.
Yeah, the Big Mac conference.
You know. Did you guys, what did you say a quarter pounder is going for these days?
$12.
Jesus. $12. $12. RJC Loaner Phone. No linear TV is creating a monkey wrench in the Super League. It's going to take a lot of negotiation to maximize all the potential TV deals. The TV guys are not going to stand in the way of this because what's best for college football is best for the TV guy. And what's best for the TV guy is best for college football.
Yeah.
So, Steve Stepanek, I had to reboot YouTube to get the audio to stop going crazy. F. Big Mac conference, it has the special sauce.
Yeah, it's got the pickles too.
See, why do you say stuff like that?
What do you mean?
Why is everything about your penis?
What do you mean, dude?
Macaque.
What's the problem?
Audio is getting the San Diego State pro rata. Any day that we have a San Diego State pro rata they deserve, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Brandon Butler, academics are not going to be happy if athletic departments are affecting the bottom line for the whole university. See you, Arizona.
A players program.
And Brandon, I think you're exactly right. I think it's one of those things where we're just in this position of not being able to emphasize an education anymore. That's the harsh reality of it. And I think there's so many old heads. Professor Dickme really wants to focus on your grade point average this quarter. Okay, not your passing percentage. That's what it is. But those guys are a dying breed now.
Yeah.
You look at most I can tell you Utah is like this. Utah has put in a system for its athletes to maximize both ends of their college experience. Boy, that came out wrong. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Utah has done a very good job facilitating the health of its college athlete.
Yeah.
And making sure that they have every resource available for academics and every resource available for athletics. And I think that's what you have to do. I think that's what you have to do. Yeah, Brandon, that's exactly right. Can't imagine the academics at Arizona are happy seeing budget cuts across the board because the athletic department knocked off $240 million.
Yeah, put a decimal in the wrong spot.
Aaron Wilson, quarter pounder here is still under $10.
Well, good for you, bro.
God, as a kid, I just loved quarter pounders with cheese. As a kid in the comment section, what was your fast food, Jake?
Chicken sando at McDonald's.
Love it.
Chicken sando at McDonald's. Yep.
John Hamm. Holy Lord, $12. Jake could get that money maker bleached for $12.
Dude, why are we on asshole bleaching today?
Wow. Okay, if we're going to put it like that. Macaque. Okay.
Yeah, dude. What is your point?
Macaque.
Mike Smith. Big Mac ain't no $12 in my neck of the woods. If it were, there would be a hillbilly rebellion. Mountain Mama. Moneymaker bleached. Aaron Wilson says, don't ask, Aaron. Mike Smith, happy to help you. Yes, Aaron, that backdoor moneymaker.
I'm giving you a fucking answer.
Okay. Real quick, did you guys hear about Tiger Woods?
Dude. Our boy is back at the shenanigans.
Tiger Woods claims that he is not having sex because he wants to get right with the golf gods before the Masters. Tiger Woods, according to sources,
his cock.
I don't know if they asked his cock. I cannot independently verify that the source of Tiger Woods' sex life is
his cock.
His cock. Wow. Yeah, but Tiger is refrained from having sex.
Yeah, because he needs to make sure he's fully ready for the Masters.
Stepanek, you old fuck. Today is my birthday. I'm 57 years old.
The cack.
All right.
Okay, cool. Lil Jizzy, Red Iguana or La Luna? Red Iguana. all
Yeah,
day.
come on, dude.
I was talking to a friend of mine in San Diego
La
yesterday.
Luna.
God, I want Mexican food. I want.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a Friday night. Don't have to work tomorrow. You can have a couple margs, get some Mexican food.
Give me some taco surf.
Yeah.
Give me some Fred's in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
A really good tortilla, rice and beans.
Chips.
Damn. Chips and salsa.
Salsa.
Little guac.
Monty, you got to go to Freddy's.
Timmy. Anyway, Robert Fowler, happy birthday, Steve. Aaron Wilson, happy birthday, Steve. Both ends, huh, Monty? Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
dude.
I knew it. As soon as I said it. Happy birthday, Steve. Mine is on Monday. Nice. Happy birthday, everybody. Utah giving it at both ends. I know.
The cock.
Big Blue Horses, Wendy's single. Wendy's is going down the pipe so
Dude,
bad.
the customer service at Wendy's is terrible now.
I love a Dave's Double.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, the thing I used to get at Wendy's was a chocolate Frosty, French fries that you dip in the Frosty. I had Wendy's right across the street from my parents' office. It was amazing. RJC Loner Phone. Hey, Jake, did you ever have bad meat in the can?
Bad meat in the can.
What the fuck up, Donnie?
I'm not acknowledging.
Hugh
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not doing that, bro.
God, dog, man. Steve Stepanek, as a kid, a quarter pounder with cheese. Loved it as a kid. Dude, I used to love on a Saturday. My dad would take me to McDonald's. Like, there was nothing
McDaisy.
like that. Nothing. Wow, look at that. TLG Strategies says, hello, guys. Hello. Hope
How
you're well.
are the strategies working out, bro?
Mike Smith, way back in the day, we would go to Burger Chef franchise. Was the big thing round here.
So you got your burgers at Burger King and went and sat by the river?
You're always on my mind. Round here. I should stop doing that. Aaron Wilson. Tiger is sure going to get stroked 100%. Here we go.
You got to get stroked. Honestly, that's our stroking guys.
Why don't feed
We know these guys are going to come a lot.
Don't feed the animals. Don't feed the animals.
Oh, dude.
Oh, God. Giggity. Doesn't Tiger remember he was at his best when he was banging Perkins waitress?
I think I've hit it every time.
So my wife is going to the airport this morning, right? She's down here at 5 o'clock because we're here at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's down here and I tell her Tiger Woods is, I was like, hey, we can't have sex anymore. I'm getting prepared for the show. You know, like Tiger's not having sex for the Masters. And she's like, well, he was at his best when he was having sex with everybody.
Yeah, man, when he was driving it down the fairway with everybody, he was at his best.
Unbelievable. Stepanek, just get a McDouble with mac sauce. It's a lot cheaper and basically the same thing. Yes, it is. Stepanek says, thanks for the birthday wishes. You're welcome. Wasikowski, quarter pounder used to be bigger 5 years ago. Yes, I did. Are you calling me a quarter pounder now?
Can you measure it?
It's not very nice. Gary Wolf, is Tiger Woods not going to date Anita Dick?
Dude.
Anita
100%. 100%.
Who's he having sex with? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. You know. Happy birthday, Mike. John Hamm. Tiger needs to work on that 3-wood. Big mistake, Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cock.
Delaric, as a kid, Taco Bell chili cheese burritos.
Yeah, and the little cinnamon twists that come with it.
Oh, God, do you remember cinnamon twists?
Yes.
From Taco Bell. Yes. Rock and Rant. Caught yesterday's show late. In terms of the drama haters, it's like old Howard Stern story. Haters listen 30 minutes longer each day than fans, but want to hear what both wanted to hear what he would say next.
Yeah, man. You know, I hope Dan R is listening, dude. I hope that he listens every day, and I hope that he comments every day.
Love you, Dan R. Good to see you, Rock and Rant. UW fan Jim, we have a local chain that is really good but has terrible name. Dick's Drive-In.
Dude.
Cock.
Like,
wow. RJC man. RJC loaner phone. Tiger won't get a hole in one. Okay. San Diego State Glenn, the Monty Show is power for getting the pro rata that it deserves. So by extension, I cannot be a member. Okay.
well,
Okay. Always a member in spirit, I guess. CKS, Wendy's never the same since they quit Dave's Burger. I miss Dave. Oh, Brandon. Portillo's Italian beef sando.
Dude, yes.
I so regret not having more Italian beef in Scottsdale. KC Boss, what's up? This early slot is killing me. It's killing me.
Slot.
It's killing me.
Us.
Gary Wolf, Royale with cheese at
100%,
Mickey
dude.
D's in Paris. Let's go.
100%.
Mike Chase. Mikkel, don't call me Mikkel, Mike Chase.
Hey, Mike.
Artie, did you move your show back to your basement?
Who's Artie?
Who's Artie?
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Spell check got you there. The way you spell it is Monty. Okay.
Monny.
Yeah, Monty.
Monny.
Yeah, Monty.
Monty, did you move your show back to your basement? Jake's basement.
Yeah.
Jake's basement.
Yeah.
Big Blue Horses. Back in the day, along with Wasatch Front, we had Training Table, Unreal Burgers, Unreal Chili Cheese Fries. Oh, it just went right out of my head. The burger joint up in Cottonwood Heights. Oh my God. Hires Big H. Jeez. I miss me a Hires Big H patty melt. Oh my God. Stepanik, Alarm in the fast food chains have a secret menu. They do have secret menus. I agree. Baston Mapes, Tiger's going front to back for sure.
Yeah.
But Jake's a back to front guy.
No, I'm not, dude. I don't wipe the Crustables into that region. I can't do that.
Oh, a jumbo jack with cheese. Drove by the Jack last night. We had my wife loves this Village Baker place in South Jordan. And she got a salad. I got a turkey cranberry on honey wheat sandwich. The Jack had a long line. Good to see Jack in the Box picking up. A lot of fast food chains have secret menus. They do. OG Gary, 2 spicy McChickens for me. Giggity. That's what I'm talking about, OG Gary. Oh, spicy chicken. I'm Caucasian.
Super Chicks.
Yeah, well, Super Chicks is the best chicken sandwich in the business. I'm telling you. Lil Jizzy having a nickname due to arguing over if Apple gives loaner phones. Exactly right.
Yeah,
Exactly right. Jake Retzlaff in 5 minutes on the Monty Show, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. You guys, listen, I am passionate about the cause of our young people in this country. And the Advocates are working with the Murray Children's Pantry to end childhood hunger in our communities. And I'm asking you, please, tomorrow is Giving Friday, but if you can do it today, please do, because it's urgent and they need your donations right now. Get on Venmo, Advocates Donations on Venmo, $5, $1 million, whatever you happen to have. And if you can't afford it, dude, that's totally cool. I totally get it. A lot of us are facing more difficult times. But if you have the extra funds, please consider getting on Venmo and making a $5 donation, a $100 donation, whatever you can afford. Advocates Donations. Every penny of that money goes to fight childhood hunger in our communities. And that's what the Advocates are all about. They're fighting for better lifestyles in our communities. They're fighting for our kids to have things like, I don't know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which currently there's so many kids in our population, in your neighborhood, your neighbors, your kids' friends at school, who don't know where breakfast, lunch, and dinner are coming from. They take the bowl of cereal, not for granted, but as a treat because they had breakfast. That's the story that's being told in households across this country. And people like the Advocates and the Murray Children's Pantry, they're trying to put an end to that, but they need our help to do that. Advocates Donations on Venmo. If you tag the Monty Show, that'd be great. I would really appreciate that. You don't have to do that. If you're a red ass and you just want to say fight children's hunger, please do. If you just want to say, hey, feeding kids, please do. But if you want to say Monty feeding kids, please do. It always helps when you shout us out. Appreciate you guys. Mike Chase, sorry, Monty, using voice text while driving. Oh, it's all good, dude. Boston Mapes. Big Judd's in Idaho was the burger I could never finish. Do tell. Man. You guys are going to be disappointed in old Uncle Monty.
Hey, Monty.
I went to Costco the other day, and I was standing there in the frozen aisle, and they had burgers.
What's up, big bro?
Big bag of burgers, quarter-pound all-beef burgers.
And they are awesome.
Bag, quarter-pound turkey burgers. Big old black bean burgers. So I, of course, got the Impossible burgers. I'm really not eating that much meat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a breakfast sausage guy. Yes, I am. I would love nothing more than to have a Five Guys cheeseburger for lunch. But I'm not eating that much meat anymore, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. And I know that you guys say, hey, fat ass. I'm telling you, I love being thinner. Hasn't helped my golf swing at all.
Right.
Has not helped my golf swing at all. Even a little bit. Do you believe in superstitions about performance? Because this Tiger Woods thing, I wasn't making this up. Tiger Woods is said to be in very serious preparation for the Masters. Even though Jake said he's not going to play at the Masters, he's going to be.
But
Tiger is in very serious preparation for the Masters. Apparently, his body is in incredible condition.
Yeah, the concern is whether or not he's going to last the whole weekend. That's a concern.
Well, he is working to do that. And trust me, as somebody that played 36 holes a couple of weekends ago, it's tough to do. And Tiger is not playing a lot of golf. He's not playing a lot of tournament golf. And he is said to be very seriously preparing for the Masters.
Yeah.
And they're saying that as part of his preparation, Tiger Woods is not having sex until after the Masters. Now, I think we should all take a moment of silence for the woman who winds up being his partner after the Masters is over. Because that's going to be tough sledding.
That's going to be, how shall we say, memorable. Yeah, I think that I understand where Tiger's coming from, where he's at on this. Like, I look at this and I say, this isn't the first time we've heard of athletes doing this.
Nope.
But, yeah, I mean, there's no question when you're trying to recover that, doing the least amount of physical activity possible, in preparation is smart. Like, go out, get your work in, go to the gym, do all the things you need to do, but then rest, right?
Yeah.
Don't do extra at home. And I think that for Tiger, that's going to be crucial.
But does sex impact your performance?
I think it would impact your recovery a little bit. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Because think about it. Think about how many swings he's going to put in preparation for the Masters. You're talking about, thousands upon thousands of swings. Then you're going to go to the weight room. You're asking your body, and this guy's an athlete. I'm not saying he's not capable. He absolutely is capable.
I'm not asking the guy to swing from ropes or hang from the ceiling.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I get where he's coming, because he understands, dude. This could be the last Masters he ever plays in.
That certainly could be the truth.
That's what we're talking about here.
That certainly could be the truth. I don't know. I think that and clearly, listen, I am not a high performing athlete. That much is very clear.
Uh-huh.
But are you really telling me that having sex before an athletic competition is like, man, I can't do that. Mike, it's going to push my hip out of place, Monty. The alignment in my hips there when you're thrusting forward playing golf.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
I mean, it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up to me.
What doesn't add up about it?
I don't believe that having sex is going to impact your performance at the Masters. I don't. I could be wrong.
I think that recovery in your preparation will impact your performance at the Masters. And he's trying to maximize every minute of his day in getting ready for this tournament. And I can appreciate that. I absolutely can appreciate it. I think that, Tiger's biggest thing is durability, man. It's as simple as that. And the Masters is a very demanding course mentally.
Yep.
Right. Obviously, it's not like some super hilly mountain course. That's not what it is, but it is a challenging golf course.
Yeah.
And I think Tiger understands and appreciates the fact that, hey, this could be the last Masters I ever play in, and I want to give myself the best chance.
Again, I am not a high performing athlete.
Right.
But you can't tell me that repopulating the earth with a woman on the night before your first round.
I think it matters, dude. I think
what's the buffer? Is it the afternoon before your first round? You can't tell me it's a month before your first round.
No. I think it's a few days.
Okay.
A few days.
All right. I'm sure Jake Retzloff is really excited to be joining the show right now. I mean,
this exact moment.
There he is. Are there things you won't do before a game? Like, are you superstitious at all about what you wear, what you eat? Like, what's your pregame ritual like?
I'm not superstitious in like what I'm doing and stuff like that. I mean, I think we've talked about like because of staying in a hotel before every game, it's the same meal every game. What I wear, I got my aviator sunglasses that I walk into the stadium with, on a sunny day. There's nothing, I don't think I don't do anything crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think guys are you superstitious at all on any level, football or otherwise, or you're really not?
Not incredibly, no.
I wear the same shoes. If I'm in a good run, I'm going to wear Air Jordan 1 lows until that run ends. I ain't going to lie. If I have a really good round of golf, I'm going to wear the same clothes the next round of golf. I'm not even joking. And it has nothing to do with it. My wife absolutely hates it that I do that stuff. But hey, man, I'm a believer. Spring ball has come to an end, sir. Are you the starting quarterback at BYU?
It's over with. It went so fast. I'll tell you what, that month was so fast. It's fun to be out on the other end of it. And now we have winter or summer workouts and a long time till fall camp. So I'm excited for that. Tell you what, I've already golfed twice this week. So I'm already in my off-season form.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
All right. How's the golf game looking?
Well, first couple rounds out there since last summer, so it starts a little rough around the edges. But I'm starting to get it back and dialed in. Still not hitting driver off the box, just hitting a nice 3 or 4 iron, and it's going 220 and 215, and just play from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. Are you a brand loyal golfer? What are you swinging right now?
I'm swinging these like OG, probably 25-year-old clubs, these tailor-made burners for my irons. Yeah, it's a old set. I got a nice spider putter. I bought these clubs off of Facebook Marketplace, off this guy who didn't know what he had. So I got a pretty good deal on it.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
No, nothing wrong with that at all.
Love that. Okay. Who's the best golfer on the team?
Parker Kingston, and it's not even close.
Wow. Okay.
He plays in like a men's league.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
He's good. He's really good. I mean, he's
worst
like a
golfer on the team.
Oof. What's fun is when you go as a team to Topgolf. We did that last fall camp. We go on a team to Topgolf, and you just get to see the guys do swing, and it's like, wow. Like Keelan Marion cannot swing golf club. We went down to St. George last year for like a retreat for the offensive skills player, and Keelan showed up to golf in jeans.
Oh no.
It's pretty interesting. So guy like that, not a great golfer. Kibo, not a great golfer.
Okay.
I think Kibo quit 3 or 4 holes in that day. But there's some guys with just an atrocious swing that you're just like, they never golfed before in their life. They probably never even played baseball.
The worst thing is when a dude shows up in jeans. That's when you know you're like, oh,
you know what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. You
Yeah.
for sure know what you're getting with that one.
100%. So fall camp is over, or spring ball's over. You're heading for fall camp through the summer now. assess your performance. How was spring? I made a big deal the other day. We had a huge fight about you on this show. I hope you're happy. I hope that you feel good about yourself, Jake. We had a brawl. There was a wild comparison between you and Keaton Slovis, and dude, you didn't throw an interception in spring ball. You, from all accounts, from what I've heard, you were really good in spring ball. So assess your performance and answer me the question, how significant is it that you did not throw an interception in spring practice?
I think overall it's like 130 attempts. So no interceptions in 130 attempts is 4 games, about 3-4 games, which is really, really good. That's going a third of the season without throwing an interception. So if I just did that all season, then that'd be a pretty good season. And it wasn't one pick in 130 attempts. It was no picks in 130 attempts. So we're gonna see how long I can keep this going. It's a really fun stat to have, and it's definitely a stat that means something. There's a lot of stats you can get from spring ball that don't mean anything. That stat kind of means something because that's, interceptions is giving the ball to the other team is how you lose games. And so to be able to stay away from that, to be able to do that this spring, and that only happens because the O-line took huge steps forward this offseason. The young receivers are starting to get better and show what they can do. And so that's not just me, obviously. That's the guys around me making it easier for me. They're catching the ball. They're not tipping it up to the defense. That's also really fun. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool stat to have. No interceptions. I think A-Rod told me that he's never had a quarterback do that. So if he's telling me that, then I think it's significant because he's had some really good quarterbacks come through here and come through where he's coached at. So if he's saying it's significant, I'm going to go ahead and say it's significant.
The other thing that comes to mind for me is that I think people don't recognize how difficult it is not to be the starting quarterback, because obviously your preparation this year versus what you were preparing last year. How different are you? How different is your position this spring camp versus last spring camp, last summer, and what you anticipating being fall ball?
Oh yeah, no, it's so different. I mean, coming in as like a returning starter at the end of the year, and so to be able to just walk in the building like, okay, so this is just my job to go get right now, my job to lose in a way. And so like you go in there and every rep was, most of my reps are with the ones, and that makes all the difference in the world, being with those guys who are going to be on the field in the game and having those guys see me. And there's something about like coming back, having the reps with the guys, and so that chemistry has already been built a little bit, and so to even work to improve that and to be focused on improving that. When you're a 2, you cannot focus on improving chemistry. You have to focus on doing the best you can with your reps. And it's a subtle difference, but it's a difference. And so it's definitely something that I've taken advantage of in this spring, and I'm going to continue to take advantage of, because when you look at things like, okay, I'm getting the ones and I'm going to be able to go with the number 1 group against the number 1 group, it's different reps, man. Because at the end of the day, like when you show up on game day, you're never going to take a rep against the 2s. You're only taking reps against the 1s. And so to have that kind of level of play to go against every day is so good for me, because the quality of the reps is so high, because it's a lot more game-like. When you're going with the 2s, it's less game-like because you don't see the 2s on game day. You only see the best of the best on game day. So to see the best of the best from your team in practice, it makes all the difference. And it's awesome to be able to do every day.
Yeah, and I think people don't those subtle nuances. I think we as fans want to watch games and think we know everything. And I think we want to read newspaper clippings and think that we know everything. And I just think there's so much that you don't talk about and that teams don't talk about. It is not the, huddle at the middle of the field. I would venture a guess from my experience and every football player I know, it is the conversations that nobody ever sees and nobody ever hears. It is you yourself sitting with an iPad or whatever your video mechanism is, by yourself, building the relationship with yourself as a quarterback and as a guy I think that's where you become whatever you're going to be. And I just think how much do you think fans truly understand the process of either winning a job, developing that job? Like, how much do you think fans truly understand the quarterback position?
People get mad at me if I said they don't. They think they're watching tennis compared to what they're actually watching. You know what I mean? It's chess and checkers. Like everybody thinks they're watching checkers, and it's actually chess. The way we're doing things out in the field. It's a fun game to play. I mean, something that I've done to just develop the experience without experience is the number one thing you got to do as a young quarterback to become better, like sooner. If you have to develop experience without the experience, because it's impossible to have a real game experience right now. Like, I can't go out and call Iowa State and be like, hey, come up to Lavelle this weekend, let's have a game. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen. So to be able to build experience without having experience through film is such a huge thing to do. And something that I did this offseason, which John Beck kind of guided me towards, is I built a cut up, or I had our guy Braden Woodall build us a cut up of every rep of every pass concept that Zach and Jaron both had at BYU and me. So all three of us. So in every and it's sorted by concept. So the concept goes, I'll go, it's Jaron's reps, Zach's reps, and then my reps. So usually Zach had a ton, Jaron had a bunch too, and then I had a couple, obviously, if any. And so just to build that thing and just to see the different concepts, the way it plays out versus different coverages versus different teams, the way that Zach and Jaron navigated those concepts, and the way that they read out those plays, how quickly they're moving off of certain routes, how long they're holding on to other routes. It's super cool to see all that. And so I mean, this is a 1,200 play cut up that I went through this spring, and I think I got to play. I think I'm on play like 1,000 or 1,100 right now. Didn't even get to finish it through all the spring run.
1,200.
Yeah,
that's okay. Then are you seeing now what you didn't see then? Because I would imagine watching those guys perform. I mean, Zach and Jaron both performed at a pretty high level. So are you seeing in your film study? Are you seeing now what you didn't see then? Like, are you like, wow, I can't believe I missed that? Or like, what are you seeing when you watch your performance from last year?
The biggest thing for me is like last year's performance. There's a story to last year. There's a progression, I should say, of last year that led me to where I was at. It's obvious to me that like after games 1 and 2, to me that me playing so well against the next two teams was not surprising to me. Like Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. That wasn't surprising to me because it was what I learned from games 1 and 2 that propelled me to game 3 and 4. And so the frustrations from game 1 and 2, going through those, is what led me to having success in games 3 and 4. And when I also learned watching that cut up, it's like these guys are human just like me. I watched Zach throw a pick 6, you know what I mean, against I think it was Utah or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, so he's a human. He's done that before. Like it's not the end of the world if I do that. It's just about coming back and scoring again. People talk about the number one, critique. There's a comment under, which is never good to look at comments under Twitter posts and stuff like that. But under when A-Rod announced that I had no interceptions through 15 practices, whatever, someone put a link to the Oklahoma pick 6 on the 1 yard line. Like that was a brutal play. I tried to track the guy down, ran all the way to the goal line, dove, tried to tackle him, come back to the sideline, ask him where the oxygen's at because I was so dead tired from that. Fessy pulls me aside, the passing game coordinator, receiver coach, and he's like, dude, what you did that entire drive is you. Like you are so good at moving this offense. You can be super efficient. The last part at the end, the cowboy, the too risky, playing too, out of control, that part, we eliminate that and we're really good football. We're a damn good football team, and we can score on anybody. Next drive come around, we drive right down the field, and I run in the touchdown to tie the game. So it's like against a team like that, to do stuff like we did, like we moved the ball really well against that team. It seemed like at will at times throughout that game, like throwing the ball, running the ball, especially we ran for like over 200, 250 yards, something like that. But so like stuff like that, to just learn from every mistake and not duplicate it. The biggest thing, like another thing I would tell a young quarterback is do your best to never make the same mistake twice. Nothing frustrates a coach more. Nothing frustrates a coach more. That's what I'm trying to teach our young guys in our room. Like, you won't make our coaches mad faster than if you make the same mistake twice in a row. Like, that is the biggest thing you cannot do as a young player or as any player at any level. And not that like you should worry about it, but all it is learning from each rep. And so like that's what I did. And that's how I got to the point I was at the end of the season. And I continued that journey into spring ball. And then I continued that journey by learning from Zach and Jaron on the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I talked to A-Rod. I'm like, A-Rod, let's, like, dude, if you can get Zach in the building and I could have an hour with him, like, that would be so valuable to me. And that's something I'm trying to get done. And then Jaron's the same way. Like, Jaron posted a video of him golfing the other day. I'm trying to go golf with Jaron and just, talk to him throughout the round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he had success here. And he's a low turnover guy. Jaron was an extremely low turnover guy. And so, like, learning from a guy like that who did the low turnovers in games all year is a big deal. And another thing that's fun to watch is I watch the tape of all those guys, and then I watch who they're playing against and the tape who they're playing against, and I start to realize that, yeah, we did have the hardest schedule in BYU history last year. Like, it was no joke. Like, that gauntlet that we went through, the Big 12 gauntlet, just casually throwing Arkansas in there game 3, it was a rough schedule. And, we played well at times. Like, we beat, obviously, Arkansas in Arkansas. Like, a game like that, it's like, wish we could have played that well throughout the entire season. But it showed that we can play against those guys. It's just about doing it week in and week out. And that's what we learned last year. That was the big takeaway from last year. We learned that, we can play at this level. We just got to do it every week. We can't take the foot off the gas at any moment. And so we definitely learned that by beating teams like Arkansas and then, losing a bunch of games in the Big 12, but then, making games really close against top teams in the country at the end of the year. So the learning curve of everything that I've been through in the last year has been, extraordinary. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for it not even to count. It was a redshirt year for me. I still got 2 more in this system. And I just can't imagine where I want to go from here.
Jake, what's your relationship with Twitter like, or social media? You talk so much about last year being a grind, and it definitely was a grind. Are you someone that looks at Twitter every day during the season? Do you log out of your accounts and go, just off the grid and just focus on football? What's that like for you?
Oh yeah, no, I have very little relationship with Twitter during the season. Twitter's by far the most toxic of all of them. Like Instagram, it's easier to be Instagram is more for the aesthetics of the app, you know what I mean? The pictures and the videos and stuff like that. But then Twitter is just a freaking giant chat room with the entire world in it, and you never know what you're going to see. So yeah, no, I mostly stay out of Twitter completely. You might see me retweet something about the season here and there, but you won't see me in a comment section. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want real quick, not to go back, that Fesi Satake conversation. You throw that interception. You're trying to pick your lungs up off the 20-yard line. He pulls you aside. How did you react to that? And what were your emotions when he said that to you? Do you take that in? Do you hear him? Are you what is your mental state at that point?
I heard him clear as day. I don't know. It was one of those moments that's hard to describe, because it was like through all the chaos that was going on, through the silencer of the play, the stadium's quiet. It's like everybody on the sideline's quiet. You come back and Fesi, he puts his arm around me and tells me that. And then something that happens immediately after that is captains of the defense, Tyler Batty, AJ Vangpachong, come up right to me. And it was something that my dad asked me after the game. He's like, dude, who's 92? Who's 10? Who are those guys on defense? Like, those are leaders, man, because both those guys, they believed in you, because both Tyler and AJ come up to me right after. He said, bro, flush it. Don't worry about it. You're good. Go get it right now. Paul Miley is another guy who played guard for us. Like, that dude, his belief in me, I'm so grateful for those guys, because they made it so easy to bounce back. Because I'm going to be hard on myself because I want to do everything perfect as possible. But those, I remember vividly those 3 guys being like, don't worry about it, bro. Let's just go down the field and score right now. We just moved down the field. Just go do it again, bro. Belief, the true belief that I found in them made it so much easier to go back on the field. And along with the Fesi comment, the guys on the sideline there, they made a difference in the next drive. It's no accident that the next drive was what it was, and how we run down the field, and I run the ball in from the 10-yard line, and it was perfect that I ended up running it into because I made the fatal mistake last drive. So then I ran it in. It was kind of like, a little kumbaya moment, if you will.
But
And then
look at how emotional you were when you ran it in.
Oh, dude, I didn't hear anything. I mean, we're scoring in the quietest corner of the stadium because this is a stadium that their fans sit in, and I still didn't hear anything at all after I scored that touchdown. I just put my hands in the air, and somehow the ball ends up in Kingsley's hands, and Kingsley got the ball, and I'm jumping around. That was a fun touchdown moment right there. That was the tight ends leading for me too. I love running behind the tight ends because they got the most juice coming out of there, and they're firing, trying to go hit somebody for me. And you should hear those guys in practice when we do it. We're always screaming at each other, like, let's go, get it. Like before plays, they're telling me, hey, pull it, let's go. I'm leaning out. I'm like, dude, if I can pull it, I'm going to pull it. I still got a read to make, but I'll pull it if I can pull it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, that was a fun play to score on. That was something that we drew up that week. And that's a play that we took into this offseason and expanded upon because it was effective there and it was effective a lot last season and in practice even more. So,
the other question I would ask you is about these jumps you've taken in your career. Like I've watched a lot of film of yours, and I think it's really interesting that every time you've gotten the ball and the opportunity, you have not faltered. You have taken that opportunity and you have run with it and just grown leaps and bounds. Do you feel like that's what's happening right now? Do you like mentally maybe because you're a different cat than you were in those you're in high school and junior college, like do you feel that growth? Do you feel that is it a growth spurt? Is it a mental growth spurt? Like do you feel yourself stepping into this moment?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that kind of mindset goes back to like when I was in high school. My first year in high school was at Claremont, California. If anybody knows Claremont, California, it's the tiniest city ever. It's got the Claremont colleges in it, very small college, very academic colleges. My dad coached football there. My mom coached tennis. In high school, my brother's a junior and I'm a freshman. And after basketball season, we transferred to Corona Centennial. And if you know high school football, Corona Centennial is a powerhouse.
Yes.
You go there, it means something. It means you're a baller if you play at Corona Centennial. And it was like my dad and my mom, when they thought about going somewhere, they thought about, well, Upland's down the street. They're a pretty good program. But my dad, having the guts he had and having the belief in us that he had, he just said, let's go to the deep end. That's the #1 public school in the country. Let's just go there. And so we enroll in there. And people asked us, like, oh, what did they promise you? Oh, they do this for you. And we're like, oh, dude, we just wanted an opportunity. That's all we wanted. And they said, you're going to have a fair opportunity here. So we took it. And that mindset has just carried me through. It's just all I ask for is an opportunity. Like people ask, what's your biggest fear in life? And my biggest fear is lack of opportunity. And so, because I know when I get that opportunity, I'm going to do with it what I'm going to do with it. And so that's kind of where that all comes from. The belief in myself, the want for an opportunity. I don't want much else, just the opportunity to be out there and do my thing. And I know that I'll be able to show what I got, and coaches will be able to see that, and fans will be able to see that, and everybody will be able to see that on the field, because that's all I want. It's just opportunity. Once you get the opportunity, it's what you do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why I believe in you, man. Like, and I always say to people that I work with and work around, like, I can't believe in you more than you believe in you. And I think there's a lot of people, whether it's imposter syndrome or whatever it might be, I think you have to believe in yourself as much or more than your coaches and your teammates. And that's why I pick on that Fessy conversation a little bit, because I think that's hugely important. All right. So what's the plan for the summer, man? Like, what do you like? Do you guys have developmental plans as far as like as groups, like your skill positions? Like, how are you guys going to continue to grow on what was a pretty strong spring season?
Yeah, well, the first thing to do, and some people might disagree with this, is to take time away from football, is to, right now finish up school, hit the golf course, whatever you got to do, just to kind of like take time away from football. It's always great to take time away from football. Once school ends, I'll be headed home for a couple weeks, because the spring semester starts like right away. So I'll be home for the short time I get to be home. Some of the guys we're going out to Southern California. Some of the other guys who aren't from there are going out there, and we're going to be training with John Beck, obviously down there, and the receivers will be training with Austin Collie, and so we got a little thing going on over there. And then after that, it's just get back for spring classes, summer workouts, train throughout the summer. We'll do what we did kind of in the spring because they train us so hard in the summer that they tell us, like, guys, don't do any outside workouts other than what we're doing here. They like explicitly tell us, like, don't go do some workout because you're gonna hurt yourself. You don't realize, because sometimes with these workouts they train us hard without us knowing it. Like, we feel like, oh, I didn't feel like I died in that workout, but then you wake up the next day like, wow, I did. That hurt in weird ways. Like, that trained things in weird ways, and my body is tired from it. And so, so in the beginning, it won't be a lot of throwing. There'll be maybe some here or there on an off day or something. And then as we get closer, it'll be more throwing, and then it'll be player run practices, and then that'll lead us right into fall camp.
Nice. How are your grades?
They're good. Just getting through, man. It's a means to an end at this point for me.
What do you love in school? Are you a math guy? Are you a history guy? Are you a home ec guy? Like, what do you love in school?
So I've been a math guy in my life, so I love the logistical process of that. I get that from my dad. My dad was a math major and everything, but moved away from that in college when I had to take my first college calculus class. And then, so right now my exercise science is what my major is. And I like that major because it's what I'm doing right now. Like, all of that exercise and wellness specifically. And so, like, how I'm taking care of my body, what I'm putting in my body, what I'm getting out of it, the science of it and all that stuff, and what's best for me. And so that I like to be in that major because it's what I'm doing right now. I don't know what I'll do exactly with it afterwards. Maybe open up training facility or something. Who knows? But like, yeah. And so that's kind of school for me. It's like I graduate in a year, which is kind of wild.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I get to walk the stage and get a diploma from my mom. That's really what it is. And then continue playing ball. And then my last year here. So in that fall, all I'll have to do is, like, I'll take an internship, which is with our nutritionist. And so it'll be, toned down pretty chill for that last semester that I'm playing ball. So I'll just be all ball. It'll be way easier.
Nice. And then obviously I'm going to ask you, what's the best food you ate this week? First of all, what'd you do for your birthday? Everybody was amazed that you were only 21 because you project like you're 37. So everybody was like, you 37 is probably a stretch. But what'd you do for your birthday?
Went out to eat with a bunch of the guys and their wives and stuff. And then we went to bowling. Like, we get competitive bowling around here. So it was a fun day. It wasn't that competitive because it was just, out there with that, having fun. But if we went and it wasn't somebody's birthday, it can get pretty competitive. Guys really trying to dial it in. But the vibes are always good. They're always positive. We're always supporting each other. So yeah, bowling was this year. I did it last year too, and we're just keeping it going over at shout out Miracle Bowl. Nice little bowling spot there.
What's the best thing you ate this week?
The best thing I ate this week. I mean, my parents were in town for the weekend, so I'm counting Sunday as this week, and we went to True Religion in the morning, which is a breakfast spot here. I don't know if you guys know about it, but that place is fire. I had the breakfast special with strawberry waffles. Oh my gosh.
Yes, please.
That was unbelievable. The strawberry waffles were unbelievable. I mean, Neaters has this strawberry French toast that's pretty fire, like really fire. And I think the strawberry waffles of True Religion take the cake.
Okay, blueberry or strawberry?
Strawberry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I will tell you the best thing I had this week. Let's see how much you hate this. A sweet potato, half of a sweet potato, black beans, and Impossible Burger with guac on top of it. That is the best meal. I think that's the best meal I've had this month. Dude. It was, I know, see, look at the look on your face. It's no acai bowl, I get it.
Why an
that
Impossible Burger?
You pan fry that Impossible Burger, chop it up. It is so good. They're frozen at Costco, man. It is so good. I'm on a sweet potato binge like nobody's business. It is.
Why not a real burger?
Well, mainly because it's not as healthy for you. And I'm in a cutting phase. Now, obviously I am a specimen in peak physical condition.
Yeah, dude.
But I'm in a cutting phase and I'm not eating that much red meat, man. Like, it's bizarre. I'm a steakhouse guy and I'm not eating that much red meat. And I just did it on a whim. We were standing at Costco, bag of frozen quarter pound burgers, bag of Impossible burgers. I went Impossible burger, best choice I've made.
Wow. Good for you.
I love it. But I will say, I am on a cocaine-like bender of sweet potatoes. Dude, roast yourself some sweet potatoes in the oven. Your life will be changed forever. It is
amazing.
Jake has no idea what I'm talking about. You're okay.
Not sweet potato. I guess I've been exposed to sweet potatoes, but it's just potatoes because I like potatoes just good. You throw some regular potatoes in the oven and fire. You do it right, season it right.
Potatoes get a bad rap. I'm not saying French fries. I'm saying potatoes. And I
think potatoes are fire. Do they really get a bad rap? I mean, I don't feel that because you could do potatoes in a million
bad for you because we what we do in this country is throw butter, salt, and fry like canola oil on them, and then they're bad for you. But if you prepare them properly, if you roast, I love roasted potatoes.
Yeah, roasted or mashed, Jake? Roasted or mashed?
Roasted, I think.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, see that's tough. You got to do roasted right because people could do roasted wrong really easily, but they could also do it right. But mashed is good, but mashed with plenty of butter, that's really good.
Hard to beat.
And some gravy, man, that's really good. My uncle is a big the powdered mashed potatoes that you just throw water on top of, mix it up.
Yeah.
He hates them. Like, he's like so anti. He's like, they're not real. Like, that's not real mashed potatoes. And he's like, we're gonna make them from scratch, blah blah blah. Well, we made them before he got there, and we made the powdered ones and threw a ton of butter in there. He's like, man, finally some good mashed potatoes. Nobody had the heart to tell him. I don't think. Oh man, it was so funny. We were just like, they're looking at each other like, this guy is so funny.
Before I let you go, I will tell you, I talked to one of my San Diego guys yesterday, and we were talking about good Mexican food. And I am as many people know, I am an LA guy, and Orange County specifically. There's nothing like taco surf, but this guy I was talking to yesterday was talking about hand-rolled and handmade tortillas on the street in Old Town San Diego.
Vibes.
Dude, I need some SoCal Mexican food, man. I am absolutely dying for it. I cannot.
I got 2 weeks left of school. Then I'm getting my first final day, I'm going to take all my finals and be on the road either that night or the next morning and just head right to California. Maybe get some Miguel Juniors. Maybe go to the Beeline to the beach. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, though, and I'm going to have a good time in my couple weeks out there. I can guarantee you that.
I like it. Well, I am happy for you, man. It sounds like, by all accounts, you had a great spring. I cannot wait to see what this year has for you guys, because I think it is so incredibly important. By the way, do you know about the college football Super League thing? Are you into the Super League in college football?
I've heard some theories about it. I haven't heard much actual things about it. There's so much noise in college football. I mean, you guys talk about it all so much, but I can't look into every rumor. Super League.
Do you see a scenario where college football players are paid employees of universities?
No. Well, I mean, they're talking about giving schools the rights over like collectives and stuff like that to be able to be its own collective, right? Would you, because if they are, is that a paid employee, or is that just still your incentivized payment?
Good old 1099 contractor life, right?
I don't know, because that's what the collective deals are. 1099. So I don't know. So I don't think so right now, but anything's possible. I mean, as long as I'm here in college football, I don't think something like that will happen.
Mm-mm.
Although things are moving fast, but I don't think something like that will happen. I mean, when it comes to all that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see us being employees of the school. I
No, I don't
can't see
think
that.
so.
I could see them I see possibly the schools like having power over the collective and over collectives and stuff like that, and having that power, and because let's be honest, like the program has powers over those collectives. Like that's, they don't dish out those payments to those people on accident. They don't, it's not a lottery who gets paid the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's effectively almost already that way, except it doesn't come out of the school's bank account. It's coming out of, donors and stuff like that, which is kind of how it would be anyways, But I know schools originally weren't exactly the biggest proponent of collectives and of NIL like that, because it's taking the money out of their pockets, because those donors are like, well, I want to donate to the athletes directly now. And so they can do that. And so I don't know if people are pulling their donations from athletic programs and going straight to the athlete or straight to the collectives. But it's definitely something to think about, food for thought there, but at the same time, it's doing the same thing. It's getting the guys, the funds. And so,
yeah. I think with only 2 years left, I don't think you'll see substantive change by the time you graduate, but who knows? Always good to see you, my friend. Glad you had a good week. Glad you are healthy, wealthy, and wise. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
You bet, man. Good to see you. There he is, Jake Retzlaff. I'm telling you. And I will fight to the death every single time it comes up on this show. I will. That guy is that's your starting quarterback at BYU. I asked him. Obviously, he's not going to answer it, which he shouldn't. The guy has done everything that you could possibly want a quarterback to do. And listen to what he said: 1,200 plays. 1,200 plays.
And I think it's wise. I think it's really smart to understand what guys with the talent of Zach Wilson and Jaron Hall did while they were at BYU. I think there's a lot to learn there, and I think I feel like BYU fans haven't had enough exposure to Jake. Like I think that you guys don't appreciate this kid's ability to disrupt the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he is as good as Zach Wilson, if not better. And the idea that he's putting that much time into tape and film, and the idea that he had the offseason he had, now he's had the spring he's had, and he's going to get the summer headed into fall camp. I'm telling you, the guy is going to deliver. And you can doubt it, and I'm sure.
Shut up. LFG, Monty, on the street in China, they have fire-roasted sweet potatoes. Incredible. Kunming has next-level food tiers above the U.S.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, just shut up. Fire-roasted sweet potatoes on the street? Yes, sign me up. Sign me up.
Let's ride.
Sign me. If I could get even just one tortilla from Cafe Coyote in San Diego, it's worth the trip.
Yeah.
I miss. I love everybody. Look, I love living in Utah and Salt Lake City. I do. But everybody's like, oh, man, this is a foodie's paradise.
No, it's not. The hell it is.
No, it's not.
Hell out of here with
the
that.
food here is strictly okay. There are some great spots. I will fight you over Mexican food.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Yes, Tanner, Cafe Coyote. Exactly right. John Dry, smoked potatoes on the grill. Good. San Diego LFG says has world-class Mexican food.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Long Beach tacos are amazing. Yes. I've had tortillas by the Abuelita. Oh, Abuelita. Okay. At one of the restaurants in Old Town San Diego. Yeah, they're fire. They are. You can stand on the street. Cafe Coyote is this big, it's right below the Best Western in Old Town, right? And it's on the corner, and there's an Abuelita who is standing there making tortillas on a flat top. And you can buy them. You can buy a bundle of like 3 of them. It's amazing, man. It is so good. Been a long time since I had killer tacos. I miss Texas and Louisiana for good food. Miss that gumbo, red bean, and rice, and Tex-Mex. Man, food makes your life so much better, right? It just does. Eric C. What's up, Eric C? My guy. Jake R makes the 9-5-1 proud. Hell yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Giggity SLC, a foodie's paradise. LOL.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And they try hard. They do. Final comment, Glenn, San Diego State. He didn't answer the question, but he was a little somber. I hope that this is irrelevant and he's slinging it come the start of the season. Jake Retzlaff will be your starter unless something catastrophic happens, which I don't think so, but I think it's there. OG Gary, I still dream about jambalaya I had in Louisiana. Don't we all? The Monty Show is always presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. You guys, please consider donating to The Advocates on Venmo. They are working to end childhood hunger in this country, in all of our communities and the communities they serve. They are partnered with the Murray Children's Pantry. Every cent that you donate goes right to fighting childhood hunger. Please consider it. Tomorrow is Giving Friday. All day tomorrow is all about donating to The Advocates and donating to fight childhood hunger. Do it right now. Send $1, $5, $100, whatever you can spare. Send it to Advocates Donations. Advocates Donations on Venmo. Giving Friday tomorrow. Until Giving Friday. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.